Toledo Live is brought to you by the generous donors of WLMB-TV 40. We are grateful for every gift that helps support this show's ministry.
It's Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. I'm Dr. Jamey Schmitz, and welcome to another episode of Toledo Live. Of course, I'm joined by my co-host for these past 25 years, Virginia Bossa.
And it has been a blessed 25 years, Jamey, and I'm excited about today's show. We have a great lineup.
That's exactly right. We're going to be talking about the Ohio Issue 1 and Ohio Issue 2. Our special guest is Kathy Woodward. She is in the house. We're very glad to have her come and talk about that very important topic that we'll all be voting on next Tuesday on November 2nd. And then also, we're going to be talking about some news that's happening at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. And we'll be talking also about, we're going to show you some pictures of some work that's being done at WLMB's tower in Jasper, Michigan. And so you want to stay tuned for those pictures. We'll also have prayer, feedback, and we'll be covering community events right here in Northwest Ohio and Southeastern Michigan.
And now, join us for Toledo Live.
Well, we want to welcome Kathy Woodward. Kathy Woodward is a friend to the pro-life movement here in Northwest Ohio and Southeastern Michigan. She is the former chairwoman of Greater Toledo Pregnancy Center, now Bella Vita, and she's been involved in Foundation for Life and many pro-life causes in the area. And she's also not only involved in those causes, she's also a great friend to Virginia and I, and we are thrilled to have her with us.
Yes, we are. So, Kathy, welcome.
Thank you.
Please share a little bit about yourself and how you are involved with pro-life issues.
True. You know, my involvement with pro-life really began about 40 years ago. My brother was a producer for the Francis Schaeffer series, How Shall We Then Live, I think it was. And that really piqued the interest of myself and my husband. And ever since then, in various times, in various ways, that's been a part of our lives.
And so you've been actively working in the pro-life movement, and so I know that you're, you work alongside Foundation for Life and the Greater Toledo Right to Life. Is that correct?
Right.
All right, and then you're here today to talk with us about Issue 1.
Right.
And maybe share a little bit about what's on your heart.
Thank you. You know, Issue 1, if passed, would be the most radical pro-abortion issue in the country. It would essentially legalize abortion for all 9 months and make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, for the Ohio legislature to pass legislation to protect the women undergoing abortion, to protect minor children, and of course to protect the unborn.
Now, Kathy, when you say legal, that means something more to you because you are a retired lawyer with Shoemaker, Loop, and Kendrick of Toledo, Ohio. But how would you talk to people about legally what this is going to do if it passes, and kind of what is the sinister nature of the authors of this amendment to the Ohio Constitution, which we're all being asked to vote on November 2nd, just this next Tuesday?
That's right. It's terrifically important because to enshrine abortion in the Constitution means that every law related to that topic has to stand constitutional muster. And if this constitutional amendment, as radical as it is, passes, it will be almost impossible to limit it in any way in Ohio. I think another really sinister thing is that this is phrased in terms of reproductive rights, and that surpasses abortion, because what's more fundamental than reproductive rights than your gender? So this amendment would legalize gender transition treatment, including surgery, therapy, for individuals, as the amendment states, of all ages with no protection for minors.
Well, we could actually take a look at some of that wording, because I believe we have a
Yes.
graphic right now, and so then
Good.
that way you can, point out to our viewers, hey, this is what it says. It's very vague, and give us a little more clarity.
Right. Yeah, take a look at, on the right-hand side there, the first line, Article 1, Section 2. They call it the right to reproductive freedom with protections built in. Well, there aren't any protections built in. But look at that first line. Every individual, not every adult. Individuals include minors.
Could be a teenager.
Right, a teenager, right. And as far as the gender transition, a 5-year-old can be coerced into that.
Which is just crazy.
Which is just crazy. Again, reproductive rights. Nowhere in that amendment will you find the word woman or girl. They talk about individual, they talk about patient. Isn't that a little odd?
That is a little odd, because then they want to open the door for that whole gender transition and drugs that could even be given to minors as well.
Right. And this is really a very well-written amendment to accomplish what it wants to accomplish. Because words like individual, you get down a little bit farther, they talk about the state not being able to directly or indirectly burden, penalize, prohibit, or interfere with this right. Those are legally tested words that have meaning to courts, that have been used to strike down parental consent laws, to strike down 24-hour waiting period laws, things that protect women against being coerced into abortion. And there is at least one public poll that says it could be as many as 60% of the women who undergo abortion are coerced into it.
Wow.
And furthermore, it says that any person or entity that assists in an abortion is protected under the Constitution. People who object to it are not. So a parent who tries to prevent an abortion done on his or her minor child can be prosecuted, but the abuser, the sex trafficker who takes her for the abortion is protected by the Constitution.
Which is really sad, because the other side tries to say, oh, we're protecting family rights.
Right.
But really, it's taking away parental rights. And that's why we see on all the signs out there that say, vote no, it says protect parental rights.
Right.
And so, a lot of people just don't understand the impact, the lasting impact this can have.
Right. And to me, the protection of the rights of those parents, that's reason enough to shoot this down.
And even, as you're laying this out there for us, what I just thought about the fact is, if you raise an objection, even as a parent, you could be, you could be found criminally negligent because
Very possibly.
Yeah, because you raised your hand and said, daughters, I don't believe you should have an abortion. There would be whole groups that would come alongside and say, well, we need to silence the voice of your parent, or any voice that is out there that is trying to stop abortion.
Right. Another one is, this says you have the right to make and carry out your reproductive decisions, including but not limited to this list. Okay, contraception, fertility treatment, continuing your pregnancy, miscarriage care. What's that doing in there? Nobody's ever objected to miscarriage care. Nobody ever will. And abortion, which means unregulated abortion. And again, notice that says, it does not say the state shall not unduly burden. It says the state shall not burden this right. That has legal significance.
And so what is the significance there?
The fact that there is no qualifier. Anything that burdens an abortion can extend to finances. Laws that are written like this have been interpreted by courts already as to require the state funding of abortion. State funding equals taxpayer funding. We could be required to pay for Medicaid abortions under wording like this. There seems to be a curb on abortion when it says in Section 3, abortion may be prohibited after fetal viability. But look at the standard. But in no case can it be prohibited if in the professional judgment of the pregnant patient's treating physician, who is the abortionist, it's necessary to protect the patient's life or health? Now, health is not defined, and we have cases already on the books where health was not defined, and it is defined so broadly as to include anything that affects a woman's mental health, physical health, financial, familial, social. Woman says, you know, I'm not ready for this. That's affecting her health. I can't take care of my other children as effectively. That is familial health. So virtually any cause can allow the abortionist, who is the treating physician, to say, no, this abortion has to go forward. It affects this person, this individual's health.
And we know often it's the abortionist who is making a lot of money off of this.
They have a financial interest in this.
That's right.
Do you really think they're going to say, this abortion should not go forward? Please follow the money.
And that's why we know that this opens the door to those late-term abortions.
Yes.
And even up until the time of birth, which is just so scary that this could be legal in Ohio 30 days after we vote on November 7th.
Even if people are for abortion, there's something about, thinking about a baby that we know feels pain, undergoing that pain in those late-term abortions, that ought to put a stop to it.
That's right. We need to put a stop to it, so we need to all, use our voice and go to the polls, which is, next Tuesday, November 7th, and there's still, people can still early vote. So we want to encourage everyone to get out there and use their voice.
Right. Vote no on issue 1.
That's right.
Vote no.
That's right.
Right. Run as far as you can, as fast as you can, away from issue 1. Vote no.
That's right. Well, thank you, Kathy. We appreciate you coming out. Is there any last word that you would like to give to our viewers?
Other than the vote no?
Well, we certainly appreciate you, letting or informing our viewers.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the fact that you've used your legal expertise to help us understand issue 1 from a legal perspective. And it is very vague and it is very dangerous to
it's well written for what they want to do.
Every Ohioan.
Yeah.
Every Ohioan. Yeah. Well, we do have a little commercial we want to show you that deals with issue 1. Let's take a look at that now.
For almost 100 years, the United States Supreme Court has recognized the traditional role of parents in directing the custody and care of their minor children.
Radical outside groups are attempting to erase Ohio parental rights.
This is an anti-parent amendment, as it removes my consent for my child.
Parents, if you want to be involved in what could be the biggest decision of your child's life, then on November 7th, vote no on this anti-parent amendment.
Well, we do have another very important issue that we want people to vote no on issue 1, but we also want people to vote no on issue 2 on November 7th coming up. And as you said, there is early voting available, so you can do that from now until Saturday. Of course, they'll be closed Sunday and Monday, but then Tuesday you can go to the live polls at your local precinct and vote no on issue 1 and issue 2. Now, we haven't heard a whole lot about issue 2. But Virginia, would you share a little bit about that?
Well, we know that issue 2 will make marijuana legal, here in Ohio.
Recreational use.
Yes, recreational use. That includes cultivation, sale, possession, and usage by adults in Ohio. And, so Ohio soon could join 23 other states and Washington, D.C. And we, hope that people will be praying about this and then go out there and vote no, because this is important. We know how it's impacted other states, and you just don't want that smell when you're walking around the store or wherever you go.
Yeah. Well, the thing about marijuana is it is a very addictive drug. It's also considered a gateway drug to other drugs that are, worse than marijuana. But marijuana in and of itself is a very bad drug in the sense that it really destroys your ability to think. I can't tell you how many people that I've known that as teenagers and young adults have addicted themselves to marijuana, and it has been a very destructive force in their life, and there's just nothing good about it.
Absolutely
and,
not.
So we want to encourage people you know, you don't have to go too many miles over the border to Michigan and see a marijuana store on every corner and just see how that is destroying the lives of so many people. I think it's going to be something all the states that have passed this in the next 5 years are going to look back and say,
What did we do?
What did we do? But the tax money associated with it has a lot of people in politics that is trying to put this forward, and I'm hoping that we defeat issue 2 and do not make recreational use of marijuana something that is the law of the land in Ohio. So vote no on issue 1 and issue 2.
That's right, and so also, Jamey, what else is happening around here? We can talk about phase 1 and phase 2 here at WLMB.
That's right. Well, phase 1, as you know, is we have a 2-part project called the Channel 5 to 35 Switch Project, which WLMB is attempting to move from Channel 5 VHF to Channel 35 UHF, which will be an easy to receive signal. And part 1 of that is to purchase an antenna, a Channel 35 antenna, and mount that on our 600-foot tower in Jasper, Michigan. I think we have a few pictures, so you can see that picture at home. That's our 600-foot tower located in Jasper, Michigan, Fairfield Township. And at the very top, you can kind of see that large, widened out section. That is our Channel 5 antenna, but we're hoping to purchase a Channel 35 antenna. Matter of fact, I shouldn't say hoping to. We placed the order for it because we were very successful with our share-a-thon in the fall. And I think we have some other photos, of the guys that are working. Let's just kind of scroll through all those. You can see they're up there doing some tower maintenance. They're actually doing that. I think these were pictures I took a couple days ago. And they're also working on some grounding. If we can keep rolling through those, I think we got quite a few. They're redoing the grounding. Our tower actually takes about 4,000 lightning strikes a year.
Oh, really?
And after 25 years of that tower standing there, it's time to reassess and also fix that. That is Mark Chambers to the right. He is the crew leader. And we have another Mark and another gentleman by the name of Sam that have been climbing the tower. And then also to the, standing right next to me, there's a little selfie, is Juan Garcia. He is the president CEO of the locally owned tower company right out of Archibald, Ohio. I think we have a few more photos too. Yep, there's Juan Garcia. He is leading his team and doing a great job for us up there in Jasper, Michigan. So that work is happening right now.
All right, so that's the news for phase 1 and phase 2.
Well, phase 2, we're going to be getting back to you a little bit. We'll be talking more in detail about next week, but part 2 is we're going to be purchasing a new transmitter, and we'll be filling you in on all the details about that next week.
All right, that sounds great. Well, now we have some other news that we'd like to talk about. You know, we'll get to the events as well, but something that's pretty interesting is the merger between Cedar Point and Six Flags.
That's right. Just announced this morning is the merger between Cedar Point and Six Flags. And so when those two large entertainment amusement park complexes or companies are put together, they'll have 27 theme parks between them and 15 water parks. And it'll be colossal. Cedar Point will become known as Cedar Point Six Flags. And of course, that's located in Sandusky, Ohio. And I know that I and you have had a lot of fun with my family. Your family's been to Cedar Point, and but that's big news here in Northwest Ohio and Southeastern Michigan that they're merging together with Six Flags, one of the largest amusement park companies in the United States as well.
Yeah, and that should happen in the first half of 2024. So a lot to watch there. So
That's
very
right.
exciting.
Hey, we have some events that are happening in the area. Would you share those with us, Virginia?
Absolutely. Well, just down the road from us is Proclaim FM, and well, it's time to go shopping because Thanksgiving and Christmas are just around the corner, and so head on over to the Proclaim FM Event Center, and you will have the opportunity to shop with their 60 crafters and vendors. There'll be delicious concessions and holiday treats, door prizes, and then entry is just a monetary donation at the door. So it's a great opportunity to get some baked goods and all kinds of fun there. All right, and then Yes FM presents Zonti, and their tour is called Hard Work, God First. That'll be held at Perrysburg Alliance Church, located on State Route 795 in Perrysburg. That's Saturday, November 4th at 7 p.m. He's got songs such as God Taught Me and Jesus Called My Name. And that's being put on by Yes FM. So I know a lot of the young folks out there will certainly enjoy that concert. Another concert coming up is the contemporary Christian music artist and Dove Award winner, Mark Schultz. He'll be out at North Point Church, that's in Toledo, November 10th at 3 p.m. And he has songs such as I Am, Broken and Beautiful, and He Will Carry Me. He's a contemporary Christian music artist and Dove Award winner, so don't miss it. And make plans now for the prayer at the Ohio State House. That's Wednesday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And that's at the Ohio State House Atrium located in Columbus. And the agenda includes corporate worship and prayer. They'll have guest speakers, and you'll have the opportunity to take a tour of the State House and time with legislators. That's put together by the Center for Christian Virtue. Be sure to register as seating is limited.
All right.
All right. Well, Jamey, that's some interesting events coming up, and looks like also we have some viewer feedback that we'd like to share with everyone here. All right. Well, Karen from Liberty Center, Ohio says WLMB is so great at providing excellent programming to help us stay spiritually fed in our walk with the Lord. And then Ruth from Pennsylvania says, I really enjoy Radiant TV. I stop whenever it is turned on and enjoy the half hour. It calms my heart and I feel close to the Lord. It is amazing to see God's creation and to know how much God loves us and to send his son to die for us. Thank you so much for a beautiful show. All right, well, Jamey, we also have some prayer requests, and so perhaps we can take a moment and invite viewers out there to join us in prayer. And as we can see, Barb from Maumee, Ohio would like prayer for her friends Amy and Bonnie, who were recently diagnosed with breast cancer. And she's going through some grief with the loss of her friend Steve.
Yes, and then also Joy from Monclova, Ohio. Her prayer request that we'd like you to join us in prayer with is, I would like to request prayer for my upcoming hip replacement surgery on November 13th.
And Karen in Oregon, Ohio says, please pray for WLMB to meet phase 2 of its goal so it can continue to expand the kingdom and reach people with the gospel. And please pray for the safe arrival of my first grandchild due this January.
That's wonderful. That's Karen from Oregon, Ohio. And like I said, next week we'll be talking more about phase 2. That's purchasing that antenna, purchasing the transmitter that we need to hook to that $300,000 antenna that we purchased. Now, a lot of people are like $300,000 for antenna. Let me put that in perspective. It's 2,500 pounds and 51 feet in length. The transmitter will not be quite as large as that, but it is definitely a beast that will go in our 30 by 40 foot building up in Jasper, Michigan. But phase 2 is where we want to purchase that. We'll be talking more about how we're going to accomplish that in the next episode of Toledo Live.
All right. Well, Jamey, do you have a closing verse you'd like to share with everyone here?
I do. In light of today's discussion, I want to read, For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. Praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know full well. That's from Psalm 139:13. And we do, this is my time of devotion, and 20 years ago, my daughters Sophia and Chloe, my wife Rachel, put together a little song for one of our share-a-thons. It seems so appropriate for today's program where we're focusing on issue 1. Let's take a look at this music video.
This is how we know. 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 This is how we know.
Well, that was my
Too
daughters
cute.
Sophia and Chloe, my wife playing the piano, and You Knit Me Together in My Mother's Womb. And you know, Virginia, when I talk with people that are opposed to issue 1, I often say to them, well, aren't you glad that your mother chose life for you?
Right.
And they don't really have too much of something to say back to that response, but God did knit us together in our mother's womb. Life does begin at the moment of conception, and we need to stand behind life. And the way we stand behind life, sometimes it plays itself out in the political universe, and that's why WLMB's official position is to encourage everyone to vote no on issue 2 on November 7th. So we also have another devotional part that we'd like to share. This is Virginia's 25th birthday. So we
Anniversary of working at WLMB.
That's right.
Aw.
25th birthday. And Virginia, thank you so much. Virginia, congratulations on 25 years with WLMB-TV 40. I picked this cake up last night at Churchill's in Perrysburg, Walt Churchill's Market, and the lady, she was really sorry because the B and the exclamation mark kind of went.
Oh,
she
it
goes,
looks
"So I do that
great."
again, and
She did
so,
wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Toledo Live. Thank you, Jamey.
We're having cake for lunch and dinner. All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you for joining us. Make sure to tune in next Tuesday for another episode of Toledo Live.
Thank you for tuning in to today's program. Please submit your comments, feedback, and prayer requests at our website, toledolive.tv. There, you can also watch previous episodes and find valuable links. Also, be sure to share this program with your family and friends. WLMB would also like to give a special thank you to our generous viewers who continue to make this program possible.